What is currently happening, programs? Welcome to The Grid, where I'll be bringing you this week's news in VR. It's Friday the 10th of March 2017, and all I can say this week is update, update, update. We've got Doom updates, Star Trek updates, First Contact, Medium, Robo updates, and John Carmack politely requesting, "Where's my money?" Today I'm going to cover off the main events to keep you in the loop. So stay locked, crush that like button, enjoy, and welcome to The Grid.
What is currently happening, YouTube? Facepalm here, your friend in Oz and NZ, bringing you reviews, tutorials, and game clips, minus the shit. You can follow me on Twitter at Facepalm with a 1, not an L. As for here on YouTube, if you like what you find, then like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to bring your game face. Let's get it done.
So after months of no doubt hard but rewarding work, the Doom 3 fully possessed VR mod is up on GitHub. This is a build upon Samsung's Doom 3 BFG VR mod, with Two Eye Guy contributing a fair bit of his time by the looks of it. This mod contains some awesome updates, including teleportation and a third-person movement mode to help alleviate VR motion sickness for those who are prone to it, but still want to go balls deep in hell with a pump-action combat shotgun. Voice commands are supported here, which allow you to switch weapons just by saying the name of the weapon you want. And they've even incorporated a flick sync mode reminiscent of Ready Player One. I'll be making a tutorial in the next week to update the installation process for those who are new to VR modding, so stay tuned for that. All in all, I would say the quality of this community-made mod update...
It rhymes with shmushmortion.
Awesome? Why yes, Jonah, it is awesome. Also, John Carmack of former id Software, Doom, and Zenimax fame is striking back at Zenimax, who was partially successful in suing Oculus, who John now works for, over copyright infringement recently. John says that Zenimax is refusing to pay him the remainder of the money they owe him from the previous purchase of id Software, on the grounds of sour grapes. And John's legal team has put forward the suggestion that sour grapes is not an affirmative defense to breach of contract, which I would tend to agree with. I mean, imagine your boss owes you $1,000, he or she pays you $500, you leave and take parts of their pizza recipe and make better pizzas, then they sue you and you have to pay them $2,000 in damages. And they say, okay, now you owe us $2,000 and we're not paying you the $500 we owe you because we're still mad you took our pizza recipe. It's not really cricket, is it? Back to modding though, the modding community has latched on straight out of the gate to modding our favourite limb-tearing, robot-busting VR FPS, Robo Recall, which aside from taking the #1 spot on Oculus's top-selling games list, despite being free, has copped some great mods recently. There is already a locomotion mod which removes the teleportation movement system in-game, which allows for smooth movement through the environments. Though I must say, I actually quite like the teleportation mechanic in this game, which is surprising because I fucking hate teleportation in VR games. And this, I guess, is just a testament to Epic Games' skills in innovative VR movement mechanics. Also, a modder called Noble Spoon is working on a lightsaber mod, which is fucking essential, I think, and I for one am looking forward to getting my dark side on. Also, Chance Ivy, who is the guy that led development on the Robo Recall mod kit, has said that Epic Games themselves are building their own mods, like player-specific Wolverine-style claws, or mods that do things like make the teleportation beam come out quicker, all the way through to map mods and things like that. Me, I'd like to see the game grow to longer story experiences with crazy Far Cry, Blood Dragon, 80s neon zombie dinosaur style mods. And on that note, the story note, not the zombie dinosaur note, Chet Falazek, who is a video game writer for Valve, tweeted, "We need fewer reaction shots of someone playing VR for the first time and more stories about how longer pieces move people." Well, that's grand, Chet. What longer pieces? While I do feel this is a great think piece, I also feel like those first experience reaction shots get people who haven't tried VR before interested in the technology, while longer pieces retain that interest. And so a balance of both is required, not necessarily less of one and more of the other. However, if I were to get my speculation hat on, this type of talk coming from a video game writer seems to suggest that this is a type of experience he may be pushing for or actively working on at Valve, which, fuck yeah, I'm all for a Half-Life built for VR type game, chat. I'm all for a longer ride on the train, chat. A bigger leap from the bridge, chat. I'll even settle for fucking City 16, chat. Fuck, chat. And speaking of longer experiences, Ubisoft's VP of Digital Publishing, Chris Early, confirmed at GDC that Star Trek's Bridge Crew is going to be a 40-plus hour experience, comprised of main story-driven scripted missions and smaller, non-linear, procedurally generated missions. Try say that with a mouthful of brigate lung. This is an experience with a lot of anticipation surrounding it, and so it's awesome to hear that it won't be a 1 hour phase and blaze. And if this, coupled with the official synopsis of the game, doesn't get your space balls tingling, then I'm not sure what will. And on the update side of things, my favorite virtual sculpting experience, Medium, is apparently getting an update shortly, if some posts by Oculus employees on Facebook and Reddit are to be believed, which I do believe. The last big update hit in Feb and sorted out missing thumbnail images on Facebook, memory improvements, and more smooth on the smooth tool, because where else are you going to increase the smooth? It sounds like this one will be a substantial update, and I'm personally hoping it will include different environments to sculpt in, instead of just the default one. And along with a lot of other people, I would love to see the ability to import reference images into Medium so that you have an image to look at and base your designs on while you're creating them. There is a hack available to do this already by replacing the clouds in the default environment with an image of your choosing, but a native solution would be much better. Reference images are great for people who can't draw or sculpt that well off the top of their head, like me, because the only thing I've been able to draw is baseballs and giant curved baseball bats. First Contact devs have also acknowledged that there was a handful of things they wanted to add to First Contact before Touch was released, but they didn't have the time. And it's looking like we'll see an update shortly consisting of these missing features. God, I would love a full short circuit style VR game using the First Contact assets. Though I'm going to go out on a limb here and suggest that may be a little bit too much to ask this early on. Also, Arizona Sunshine has a new update that has a horde map called the Old Mine, and Superhot VR also gets its Forever update, which is now up on the Oculus Store. So if you own those games, then get on board with those updates. The Oculus Home 1.12 update, which everyone should have by now, also includes audio mirroring. This allows you to hear audio in your Rift's headphones and send that same audio to a sub-pack or another set of speakers at the same time. And because it's a well-designed native solution from Oculus, it is notably less latency than something like Voicemeeter, which has fuck all latency anyway when you set it up correctly, though this native solution from Oculus is better. Me personally, I find this mostly useful for capturing VR content and audio with my Elgato HD60 capture card. Oh, and Sixsence still doesn't have an updated release date after 2.5 years for its STEM controllers. Not funny though. Fucking bullshit actually. And even if it does, it's kind of redundant now, given that Touch is out, like not yesterday, and HTC has said that they will be open sourcing a version of their full body tracker. And that's this week in VR on the Grid. If you have more you would like to add, then hit me up in the comments below and let's discuss. And if you like this video, then crush that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!
Thanks for watching today's video. Just remember you can follow me on Twitter at facepalm with a 1, not an L. As for here on YouTube, if you like what you find, then like, comment, and subscribe. But don't forget to bring your game face. Facepalm out.